And I think we are live. I'm waiting for it to connect on YouTube. And in the groups. Gonna give it a second for some people to jump in. Hey, Sue. Hey, Ann. Can you guys see the splash screen there? Mix It Up Monday. Hey, Ann. Hey, Marianne. Because it's not showing on YouTube for me, but I see your chat. It's really weird. Hey, Louise. Hey, Renee. Okay, so you can see that splash screen there. I just want to be sure you guys can see. Just because I can't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Okay, perfect. I just don't... I can see chat on YouTube, and that's all I can see. So that's okay, because I can see it everywhere else. All right, guys, we're going to play the intro, and we're going to get started. And here is our April calendar, guys. If you need to check about when a live is coming up, it is there. Also, all the links to YouTube have been posted also in the pinned post. First time, Louise. Yay! Glad you could join us. Hey, Cindy. So, the calendar is there. So, if you need to refer to that, it is there in the pinned post right up under the group photo when you're in the group. And also all the YouTube links. If you're subscribed, you can see all the upcoming, and you can turn on notifications for the ones you want, or all of them. Some people like to do all of them, so you can do that. Hey, Melissa. All right, guys, don't forget, also in that pinned post is our current giveaway for the month of April. It will be, and I still have the wrong... I did correct that, so it's not the 22nd. It is the 22nd, and I did fix it, but I forgot to change it over in here. But we do have a egg hunt. It's a hashtag Cricut egg hunt. That needs to be on your post, and what you need to do to enter is to make your own post, put the hashtag Cricut egg hunt in there, because I'm going to be hunting for Easter eggs. And all you have to do on your project is include an Easter egg from Cricut Designspace, or use a Cricut material. Okay, you can use any Cricut material or an Access egg image, any image. Okay, so once you've done that and you've posted it in the group with hashtag Cricut egg hunt, head on over to craftingwithapril.co and sign up on Rafflecopter. And I'm just going to pop over and bring that over onto the screen here and go overhead and show you how to do that. This is, I am in the supporter files area here. Let me pop over there. So once you log in on the site, you go right here at the top, Cricut giveaway, after you've posted in the group. And you're going to come down here, and right here, this is where you're going to enter. And it says 200 MSRP on there, but we're actually giving away, because it only shows one. I think if you use these, it'll show you 150, and then we're doing 100, and we're doing a 50. So 4 shopping sprees this month up for grabs. So make sure that you're posting that project and getting in on there, because I'm hunting Easter eggs. So don't skip out on that. All right. As always, thank you to all my supporters on Patreon, Ko-fi, and to my moderators. Greatly appreciate you guys and my admins. Couldn't do any of this without you. As always, if you have a question, just type it in caps so that I myself can see it, or the moderators can see it and they can help you. Okay? I'm going to slide this back over so I'll let you guys see. I can't see YouTube. It's just spinning. I usually have the photo there. So if I forget to change screens, guys, tell me, because I can't see it. I have no way to see it. But I can see chat. So that's good enough for me. What else? There was something else I wanted to tell you guys. Well, it'll come to me, I'm sure. This is the project, and I laid this out. I used Designspace Access Images, and it is for supporters only, and it's sized in there for adult and for kids, so that you have both of those in the file. I have not posted it to the supporter area yet. I was trying to do that, but I had to help somebody in Messenger, and I got tied up. So as soon as the live is over, I will post that up. But we did this. I did it on a kid's shirt using mosaic, metallic. How pretty is that? And glitter. So super cute and easy, and you can change this glitter out to whatever color you want. I just did pinks today, but you could change that out for any colors. I do love you guys, Sue. I do. So I know that somebody last week, and I had already planned to do an iron-on live, so when they asked last week about the mosaics and how you worked with them, I thought this would be a perfect opportunity to go over that with you guys, because if you've never used it before, it could be a little bit intimidating, guys, but it's so super easy to use. Super easy. I say that, and then something will happen when I go live. It usually does. Hi, Coral. Hey, Swirly. Yeah, you're late, but you're here. So, a couple of things that I'm not just going to show you how to do the iron-on. I'm going to show you some tips and tricks that I use. I don't know how you do your iron-ons. A lot of people like to use the rulers and those kind of things. But personally, the rulers just slow me down. They slow me down totally. What I like to do is fold my shirts, and I've had several people ask me, well, how do you do that? I'm not sure. But I like to buy my shirts, and if they're on sale and I buy tons of them, I like to press them all and put them away, and they're ready to go when I need to do an iron-on. I don't have to fool with it. So how do I do that? I'm going to set this to the side for now and bring over. And you can do this with your small shirts and your large shirts. But if you fold them and put them away, your creases will stay where you need them. Okay? And with the adults, so that they don't fall over, all you're going to do is fold them and stack them opposite of each other. One this way and then one this way. And that way they'll stay even. You can rotate them all 4 ways and keep them on your shelf or whatever, so that they're not getting messed up and you're ready to go. And why do I say ready to go? I don't know if it's going to show as well on that black shirt on camera, but I'm going to try it because it's smaller. If not, I'll grab those again. But I fold them exactly the same way. So what I do is I press my shirt, because we pre-press for 15 seconds or 5 seconds, whatever, to get the moisture out of the shirt, correct? So while I'm heating up and doing that, I'm like, press all my shirts. So I press all the wrinkles out and get them flat, but look, when I open it up, I've got my finger width right there, and then I have my crease down the center. So the way that I do that is I fold it shoulder to shoulder and make sure that that collar is even right there, at the shoulder seams, and this is the same with an adult shirt, and that the armpits are even, okay? Then you want to make sure that it's even down the side, okay? Nice and even. Then I press it right down the center, okay? Like so. Then I measure and fold it over. After I press this to get my center fold, I fold it over depending on what you want. If you like 3 fingers widths, okay, fold it 3 finger widths. If you like 2, fold it 2. I like 2 for a kid's shirt, okay, and 3 for an adult, but do it the way you want, okay? And then I fold it this way and I press it again. So now I have this crease and this crease down the side. I then just fold in the sleeve and fold up the bottom, and I can put it on a shelf. Now when I get an iron-on or I get an order, all I have to do is grab that shirt out, unfold it, and I have my center cross area. The top of my iron-on goes across this line, and my iron-on goes down this line. So it's already ready to go. Does that make sense? Does anybody need me to show you how to fold that again so that you can do it? Don't be scared to ask questions. Don't be scared. And there's more than one way to do anything. So if you have a way of doing something that you like, share it. Share it. Might be better. But that gives me the center line on my shirt and a crosshair there. So how do we know where the center is for the iron-on? That's the next question, right? So as you know, when you cut your iron-on, unless it specifically tells you otherwise, your shiny side is going to go to the mat. Because some patterns you do not cut this way. Some you do. Just depends on what brand you have. So your shiny side is going to go to the mat, and this is the side that you're going to cut. And you're going to make sure that you mirror. Okay? And this is Smart Iron-On from the Cricut Joy. Because that's the colors that I had. If you guys want to know what colors I used today, I used the Smart Iron-On in the pinks. I used the lipstick and fluorescent pink. Lipstick and fluorescent pink is what I used on these. And then I used the mosaic metallic. And I cut it out of the silver. I had the sampler. I think we got this sampler in a mystery box. I don't know when, but I believe it came in a mystery box. So this is the metallic. Now make sure that you're taking note of that. Metallic, iron-on, mosaic. It matters. It does matter. It matters when you cut it. So you need to make sure that you know that. Yeah, these are just ready to go, and they take up a lot less space when you do it. Now, if you're using the Smart Iron-On, I'm going to show you. You can't get any closer than that. It did not chop my E off. You can't get any closer because it's right to the edge. If you're using the Smart Iron-On, bump it over instead of putting it right on the line of your mat. For this one, instead of lining it up right there on your mat like this, bump it over just a tiny bit, and you're sure not to chop off your E that way. Okay? I mean, I was extremely close. I think I won the contest on that with my admins. You don't get any closer. But weeding, super easy. I just go in and kind of loosen up around my letters, areas right there in the centers. This way it weeds easier. Can't talk today. But just kind of pull back those inside areas. The deep areas there. because glitter has a tendency to rip, which is, it doesn't hurt anything because you're pulling it out of there anyway. But instead of getting it out in 20 or 30 pieces, you can probably weed it a little bit easier. So then just once you've got those pulled, then you can just start pulling from the edge, and everything should just slide right out of there. Oops. Tried to pull my line out of there. It's got a little bitty line in there. There we go. And make sure that you weed out your counters or your centers, whatever you want to call them. And once you've pulled those out, flip it over and double check it. And before you iron it on, check it again, because if you don't, you're going to leave a piece. And this is the fluorescent. This is the one with the white background. So don't get confused when you see an iron-on like this and you're not sure which way to cut it. Shiny side still goes down. Because it's such a bright, they have to have that white background. So if you put it on a dark shirt, it doesn't change color. And again, you're just going to weed it the same way. You can pull out those small pieces in there between your H's if you want to. It should be good. And then we're just going to weed it back. And you can do a little rocking motion on these small ones like that to help you weed it a little bit easier. Okay, so got all my counters out of that one. So the next step that I'm going to do, and you can get away with it on some of your iron-ons like this because this happy fits right in there. But if I were to stick it right there, you can see that this part of the T and this part of the E is on top of that carrier. So it will not transfer. It will stick to that carrier. But if you trim this really close, carefully not to cut your iron-on, you can press this at one time instead of having to do two presses. So I just trim it as close as I possibly can, like so, and get rid of that carrier. And then I can line that up in there, usually, pretty easily, without it touching anything. It cannot touch any part of the iron-ons. It has to have a little gap in there. If it's touching, it will not iron on. And that's pretty close, so I'm going to go in there and trim just a little bit more out of that carrier. And now I know it's not touching anywhere and it fits in there and it's ready to go. And I can press that in one because they're both glitter, they're both the same material, so I can do one press, two colors at the same time. Okay? But before I get there, I'm just going to make sure that's stuck good. I am going to fold this. Not my sticky side. You don't want to put the sticky side together, but the other side. And that's not going to go anywhere. And I'm just going to make sure that my R, which is the end of that, even though my carrier's hanging over, my R is even with the edge of that. And I'm going to pinch this carrier sheet. Now I got a crease in it. Can you see that? Guess where that goes? Right down the center line that we pressed on the shirt. So we know we've got it on there straight. There's no guessing, is that straight? Is it not straight? We know because our carrier is straight. Okay? So now I can line that up on that line that goes down the middle of the shirt. But that goes on last because it heats up at a higher temperature than this one. So before you get started, when you select your iron-ons, that make sure that they're compatible with your shirt. So I picked 2 things that I could use on cotton because I have a cotton shirt. So I need to make sure that my mosaic is compatible with cotton and my glitter is compatible with cotton. And they are. But one presses at 310 and one presses at 330. Okay? So now we're going to weed this one and then we'll start pressing. Mosaic has 2 carrier sheets or transfer sheets. It has 2 of them. We do not weed that one carrier off. I'm going to place this over to the side so I have a hard surface here. If you look on the edge of your mosaic, you have an edge that doesn't have anything. That's where I like to weed from, because we're going to take that first carrier and we're going to lift and separate, okay? And we're going to pull that apart, and sometimes it doesn't like to cut. Well, it seems like it doesn't cut all the way through. Guys, wiggle and jiggle it and bring that around. You're taking that around, and you can see that mine tore a little bit there. That's not a big deal, okay? And I'll show you in just a second. My cut line is right through here, okay? And all I'm going to do is where that is, just go in there and lift it up and start, because that second carrier back there is a little thin and it's really easy to tear, but as long as you make sure that you're completely weeded, you will be fine, okay? And to me it works a little better if I try to follow my cut line with it when I'm pulling it off. And you can see right there I've got where it lifted off part of it but not the other. Just gonna go in there and separate it. You do need to make sure that it's cut through. If it's not, just cut again on your machine. And I'm gonna pop over there to Designspace after I weed this and show you guys what you should be cutting it on. It's sticking to me. So you don't have to weed each one of, if you this is the square metallic. The ones that are round kind of look like rhinestones, but I didn't have any of that. And then I've got this piece in here. You can see my cut line right through there. So you want to make sure that you're getting all of that out if your carrier tears it all, that second carrier. And it's okay to leave parts of the carrier in there, just don't leave part of the iron-on in there. So if that little piece wasn't on there, I could just leave that in. There we go. One teeny tiny piece. Alright, so now I have it weeded and pulled apart, and I'm just going to double check all the way around my image. Make sure everything looks good and I'm happy with it. Okay, let's pop over to Designspace and take a look at the material. Yes, wiggle and jiggle are professional crafting terms. Marianne, you're absolutely right. So in Designspace, when you hit Make It, if you come over here and you type in holographic, you are not going to pull this material up. Or it didn't for me the first time. I'm going to try it again, but it did not pull it up. You'll also want to make sure that you mirror. Okay? Make sure that you mirror. If you're doing more than one shirt, you can, of course, move your object to the other mat. And you can probably rotate it and pull these in so that you can get more than one out of there. So make sure that you're utilizing that. So once you're happy with it and you've turned on your mirror and you've selected your material size, because if you're using that Joy material and you're doing these, because I just did a small one, you'll want to make sure that you leave it on a mat and then change it to, I think I used 5.83 by 6, whatever was in there, and it worked perfectly fine for me. So once you have it all done, you hit continue, and my machine is not on. I had my computer going, I had everything set up, I had my machine on, I had my Bright 360s on, and I turned on the auto press, and then I turned on my Easy Press 3, and I blew the circuit and had to go. It shut everything down. So I had to pull everything up again. Okay, is it going to read it? May have to cancel and go back. Yeah. Maybe it'll read it this time. I forgot to turn it back on. I turned everything on but that. It'll find it. Does anybody have any questions so far? While we're waiting on that to connect? It doesn't like it. I just want to show them. And 12 by 12. Continue. Yeah, sometimes it just gets stuck and I have to go back. Alright, so if I browse all materials here at the top right and I type in holographic, it will bring up the mosaics. You see the holographic mosaic and the sparkle, all of those. But what I use is not holographic. It is metallic. So to be safe, instead of searching that, search mosaic. And it will bring up all the mosaics. Okay? And this is the one you want for that foil, that metallic one. This one right here. It's not as thick and it's not as heavy as the holographic. You don't want to cut all the way through your carrier. That's where you got stuck, Sue. I find if I just cancel and go back that it will adjust itself. Especially if you hit those screens and your machine is not turned on yet. For some reason, it gets stuck and it just doesn't want to pick up the machine. So if I turn it on and then cancel all the way out. Sometimes I can go back one screen, but most of the time I have to go all the way back. But this is the one you want for that material. So make sure that when you're cutting, cut the correct material. Okay? If you're not cutting and using the correct cut settings, you will have problems. And if you're cutting with a dull blade, you're going to have problems. Okay? So let's go over and get started on the iron-on. Oh, your machine was on. Mine rarely does it when my machine's on, but it could happen. I mean, it can happen. It could be a Wi-Fi or connection issue. Maybe a little bit of lag. So. All right. So here we are. I'm going to move my keyboard out of the way. And I've got my crease down the center. I've got to do the same thing with my bunny that I did with the other. And I'm just lining up and eyeballing to see if his tail and his nose are even, and that's where I'm going to give that a pinch. So now I've got my crease lines. I'm going to turn that on so it can be heating up. Maybe not, because I want to do something. Make sure you lint roll. I don't know where my lint roller went. It didn't go anywhere. I forgot to take it out. But make sure you lint roll, especially if you're doing infusible inks on anything. But lint roll your shirts as well. Get the dust and stuff off. So now I'm going to look at my little crease. There's my crosshair. Now with this design, I decided because the ears were up, I was going to go a little bit higher. But usually I would put the start of my design on this line right across here, but I didn't want it to be too low. So I changed it to about 1.5 finger widths. And then the creases on my shirt and the creases on my carrier, I just line those up. No guesswork, it's center, okay? It's there. So then we're going to open up our Cricut Heat app. Let me go back. And I'm going to start a new project. And I am going to, because I am using the Easy Press 3, I am going to select the Mosaic Iron-On and then 100% cotton. And I'm using an Easy Press mat, so I don't need to change it. If you don't, then you can hit that at the bottom, the information eye. And then we're going to, oh, I better turn on my, there it's connected. And then hit next. And it tells me 310. I'm going to preheat for 5 seconds, which I just did this preheat before when I got the shirt, so I don't need to preheat it. If you want to preheat to do it, just leave it folded and preheat. But I have already done the preheat, so I am going to skip the preheat when we get there. And this is going to tell me 310, 30 seconds. Then I'm going to flip and press for 15 seconds. And then I'm going to peel the mosaic while the top, when it's still warm. And then we're going to let the other cool. So everything that I need is there. If you need detailed instructions, if you're using that Cricut Heat app, you can go to the detailed instructions and get there. So I'm just going to send that over, and it's going to tell that press what to heat up to. So now it's heating up, and you can see there might be a little bit of lag time between that and this when it's communicating. I am going to skip the heat up. So 30 seconds firm pressure is what it wants on this. 30 seconds firm pressure. Do I put my carrier or anything on that when I'm heating it? At this point, no. I'm not going to cover it and do that. I will because I'm doing a second and third color. I have not taken off the backing carrier sheet. I have only weeded it. That carrier that was on there from weeding is still on there. It's still on this. This is the transfer sheet, and it's still there, okay? It's still on this because remember we pulled this out from around here. So you still have this plastic liner on the mosaics themselves, and then this is your carrier. So you have a transfer, which is this, and a carrier. Okay, transfer mask, carrier. Is my press on my cord? No. It just looks that way, but it's underneath the plate, the tray. So now it's heated up to where it needs to be. So we're just going to bring it over, and we're going to apply firm pressure and hit our button. So I'm just going to press down. I'm in a limited space. I usually just press it backwards, but I wanted you guys to be able to see the temp and time. Otherwise, I would just flip it around. So now that's done. And then if I look at my app, it tells me to flip it, apply firm pressure, and do 15 seconds. So we're going to flip it over. And we're going to bring this in, press go, and firm pressure for 15. And then the app is just going to tell us everything. There are videos on the app. So if you have the Easy Press 3, guys, it doesn't get any easier. And so it's done there. So now it's going to tell me to peel the mosaic, but leave that transfer liner. So to peel it while it's warm, not hot. Okay, so I'm just going to cool it for a second. And that's still hot. You can feel it when you touch it. It's still hot. Yeah, you don't need to, if you're needing to stand on your iron or your Easy Press, you're doing something wrong. That's totally not necessary, and you're just going to break your iron or your Easy Press. So while that's warm, I'm going to peel that off. Okay, super simple and easy. The mask that's on there is still there. The one that we had on that other piece. I keep throwing it in the trash. The plastic that this is on is still there. We're not going to pull that yet. You want to pull that when it's cool, but because I'm doing more iron on, I want that to stay protected. Okay, so I can put this back and protect it that way, which is the easiest way, or you can cover it with something else or parchment paper. I'm not a fan of using parchment paper, but if you like it, then that's what you can use. But I can use my Cricut mat here. So I'm just going to place that there. And again, I can still see my crease on my shirt here. And I'm just going to line this up right there. I'm just going to place this on. And I'm going to slide it forward so I stay in camera for you guys. But I'm not even really going to heat on that. But if it happens to hit it, I'm good. So next we need to come over and go into our hat. Our heat guide. And I'm just going to hit done. And I'm going to start a new project. And I'm going to transfer material. And I'm going glitter iron on. And 100% cotton. And next, and send it to the press, and now it's going to change the temp and start heating that up to 300. Oh, it's telling me 310 again. It's supposed to be 330. There we go. There we go. So I'm going to skip that 5-second because we just heated it. There's no need to heat it again. The moisture's already been pulled out. Okay, now it's at 330 and I need 30 seconds. Apply light pressure. So now we're just going to bring this in, and I am just going to place it right on top of that and hit my button. I'm trying to avoid this, but I have it protected in case that heat plate hits it. Okay. Yeah, it's super easy and simple on this. You can't get any better. Don't pay any attention to the cracked protective cover on my phone. My screen isn't cracked, but my protective cover is. Okay, and so we're going to pull that off of there, and it says apply light pressure 15 seconds. Flip it and press it. So now we're going to flip it. Okay, and I'm still going to protect that other area. Just by leaving that mat there, I can see where it's at. And I'm just going to heat right here. Light pressure. And we're done. And now we're going to flip that over. And we're going to let that cool. Because it does say peel cool. So we want to make sure both of these are cooled now. I can pull this off while it's warm. Remember, I just stuck it back on there to protect it, just in case my Easy Press hit it. And it didn't, so I'm good there. And there, on that Easy Press, that Cricut Heat Press app, guys, there is videos for you. So if you're not sure, or you haven't used something in a while, like maybe the mosaic, and you're like, there's something about that but I don't remember, you can watch a short video and it will cover it for you and show you everything. So you don't have to go searching online and reading everything. It will play a video for you so that you can see and do your instruction by that. So now we've got this almost cool. I love that app, Sue. It saves so much time. So now we've got that cool, and we're just going to peel that back. There's carrier 1 and 2. So we did 2 colors at one time. Now, if you were using a different material and it heated different, you would put this on for 5 seconds and just tack it. Then put your other one on and tack it and press them all at the same time. But since they were the same material, we could do 2 at once. Now, when you peel this, this is very cool now. When you go to peel this transfer liner off, it's important that you peel upwards, okay? I don't know why, but it just peels better that way, and it works better. So you're just going to get your little pick in there. Get it to start separating. And if it starts to tear on you, don't panic. It's okay. You don't have to get it off in one piece. I mean, it's cool when you can do that, but... And I'm just working it, pushing down. I've got it still on my easy press mat. To me, that's easier because it's sticky. We're just going to get it started. And see, mine ripped right there, but it's not a big deal. Just going to get it to lift up right here. And you're going to peel upward. Oops, I ripped it. I didn't get it in one piece. Just going to get it started again. Be careful not to pick your shirt. Just pick on the liner. Yay, got it. So, super fun, simple, easy. How bright and shiny is that? I love Cricut foil. It's my favorite. And if you do it, if you pull this while it's hot, guys, it will get all wrinkly. It won't look good. You want it to be like a mirror ball. Okay. And again, guys, if you are a Access subscriber, I did use Access images for this, but I am going to put that up for you guys anyway, since it's already sized for, this is a 4T, but you can use it for, I believe 3T too. The size should still fit. And then there's one for adult size in there. Doesn't it look awesome? We got some shine, some bling going on there. I wanted to do the rhinestones one, but I was out and I went to Michael's and they didn't have any. I didn't have time to go to Hobby Lobby, so I just went with what I had. You were holding your breath, Sue. Yeah, sometimes when you're live, they just don't go right, but it does make a difference. If you try to pull that down this way, for some reason, it doesn't like it. And you can peel up the pieces, but if you peel in the opposite direction, it works fine. I don't know why, but I found that to be true for me. You want to peel it in an upwards motion. I believe Cricut even says pull it in an upward motion. It would be gorgeous done in that, Shirley, because it will look, the holographic mosaics in the circles, it looks like rhinestones after you do it. I love it. All right, does anybody have any questions? Any at all? Any on the folding? Any of the pressing? The weeding of the mosaic? Okay, well, I thank you guys for joining me. Want to see some shirts and some different colors? You can change the saying on these too. So, lots of fun you can do with mosaic. This would be cute with the mesh too. And I know you guys, if you got that mystery box, you got some of that black glitter mesh and the white glitter bulk roll. Yay, Elizabeth. Alright, if you have any questions, guys, that you forgot to ask, please ask in the groups. We're happy to help. You first time seeing it in action, Melissa? Yay! I'm glad that I could show it to you guys. Oh, you're welcome, Cindy. Alright, you guys have a great day. The next live will be on Thursday, I believe. Just to be doubly sure. Our next live is tutorial Thursday on the 7th. What are we doing on the 7th? We're doing, let's see. I'll tell you guys what we're doing on the 7th in case you want to go ahead while you're here on YouTube and set your notification. Friday is the 7th. I'm looking for that one. Oh, we're doing the bunny. The 3D bunny. That's what we're doing Thursday. We're going to put this guy together. So you guys join us for that. Have a great week. I will catch you on Thursday and Friday. Happy crafting.